against?
Oh, sorry, 4.
4 against. Okay, cool. Nobody's explicitly against that. Then sure, sounds good to me. Write that down. What are the recitation dates next week?
25th.
All right. I should probably take a straw poll later when we're gonna get here, but I want to do it now. So we're gonna do it now. For your final exam, I really like not exclusively reusing questions from quizzes and exams, but largely, like mainly, I really like doing that. But I know a lot of times for final exams, we like having like note cards or something like that to bring in. So one or the other is gonna happen. Either I'm going to very heavily steal from your first 2 exams for your final, and it won't be completely made out of that, but like, because I think you've got an exam on Monday. There might be some additional stuff that we'll have. There might be some additional stuff that we'll have covered the week before the final, and then also I might switch out like the mechanisms that I picked for yesterday's exam. I kind of wish I had picked something that looked a little more like, I think I accidentally picked like 2 that were just sort of, I don't know, interesting to me, and they looked interesting to me because, well, they weren't the same as like most of the mechanisms we went over in the chapter 16, 17 that took like forever. So yeah, I didn't think about that. Sorry about that. I would probably do something, you know, Fisher esterification, or I don't know, something, a different mechanism or something. But like, you know, still largely stealing from exam questions, or you can have a note card. Do you guys have an opinion now? Do you want to think about it? So.
First option.
Yes. That is my favorite option because, well, I don't have to come up with all new exam questions. Last year, I made the mistake of not rethinking that when everybody asked if they could have note cards. And I mean, I'm all for like writing all sorts of notes to do things, but yeah, I didn't really think about the fact that you could literally put your entire exams on a note card, really small, and that doesn't really help learning, so. I'm just trying to avoid that. All right, cool. And that's what your final exam is gonna be like. Your final exam will also be choose your own adventure, just like the second exam will be. And will you email me at some point after some point today-ish and remind me to update the quiz schedule? Thank you. All right, cool. I think. Oh, I'm almost done grading your exams. I've got a couple people making them up this week, so, and I am gonna let you guys do test corrections. So, in light of being able to do test corrections, Is Friday too late to get your exams back? That's like a whole week out of a 5-week class. Can I get some like or like no or like
That's really
yes?
far.
That's what.
Really far out.
Yeah, that's a pretty long time. I kind of feel like that too. All right.
Do we have to get them done by a certain time? Like, it doesn't matter. It's not.
There should probably be a due date.
Maybe like Friday at the latest is like.
Okay. I think so. My goal is to have a slightly different makeup exam made for the people making it up Thursday. That way, hopefully tomorrow I can get these back to you. I think that's what I want to do. Thursday, people can take something that's almost the same, but not exactly. And then you guys can start on test corrections. I don't know. You can have plenty of time for test corrections. How long do you guys want? Do you want to give them back to me on Monday? Do you want to give them back to me after that? Do you want a week?
A week after we get them back.
A week? So like Wednesday? If I get them to you tomorrow, which is the goal, then you guys get them back to me by Wednesday? Okay, yes.
So what do you mean by test corrections? Do we get the test back and then we just fix what we got wrong?
Yeah, sorry, so the, I didn't know how to do these. I'm not entirely sure how these were done last semester for people who took this last semester. Took the other one that was right before this. So how did she do that? Did she just like, here's your exams back? I marked things wrong. I tried not to write the right answer. I told my TAs not to write the right answers. So like most of your exam is, you know, you've got like points and not like actual corrections. And then your mechanisms, I may have helped you a little on those, but you know, I tried. It's fine. I don't mind. Let's see. So yeah, how does it
She
work?
gave us a blank Scantron and then posted like a fresh copy of the multiple choice section.
Okay.
Didn't tell you what you got wrong, but said like here's how many you got
Oh,
wrong.
didn't tell you what you got
So
wrong.
Figure
I
it
feel
out.
like that's not right.
Oh,
She doesn't tell you what you got wrong.
But it was almost.
It was all multiple
It was.
choice.
right, but it's all multiple choice. Okay, so it was basically like
Well, the
you can.
original exam was?
Yeah.
It's not all of it, but like
Oh.
Like
well,
90,
that's all she does.
80% of it was multiple choice.
Okay, yeah. So it was like an open book retake of the exam that helps you, that gave you some points back if you did better, but you didn't know what you missed. Yeah, no. I'm gonna give these back to you, and you can see what you got right and wrong, because that's, I don't know. I mean, I can see that being useful for a feasible way to do that, and like useful for learning for multiple choice, but not for this. I feel like, I don't know. I mean, do the rest of you guys have test amnesia? I don't remember a single thing about an exam the moment I walk out of that room, right? So like, I don't know, like I definitely wouldn't have gone through and answered some of them knowing that I got some of them right. I just would have either done all of it or none of it. And this is not a multiple choice exam, so that's not, okay. So whatever you guys, you'll have the opportunity to earn back half of what you lost. And that's not counting the extra credit. So that means that like, if you missed, 6 points on one page, but you got 4 points of extra credit, you're not just looking at one possible point to get back. You're looking at half of 6, 3 possible points to get back. Those extra credit are just like taken out for a second, we do the stuff, and then we put them back in. Yes.
How did you do the, like if you answered more than the required question?
If you answered more, on the first 2 sections, I made any correct answer on an additional one plus 2 extra credit points. For the mechanism, I made the extra mechanism question up to 4 extra credit points, And I think I did 2 plus 2 if you got the answer, like the product, and the rest distributed among how correct the mechanism was. Yeah, so there were 5 questions, 10 extra credit, 14 possible extra credit points. Yeah. Trying to decide what I want to do about extra credit for test corrections. I don't know.
Are we gonna be allowed to correct the extra credit questions, or is it just the
I
one?
was gonna not do that. That was my thought. Does that seem fair? Like,
Yeah.
you get extra credit if you do it on the day, and then, okay, cool. Yeah.
Will there be like eventually a key posted?
Yes. Yeah, once you guys, when did we decide? Wednesday? So if I get them to you tomorrow, then you guys get me your test corrections back on Wednesday. Then once I have all those back, I will post the key. So if you're gonna be late turning in your test corrections, let me know like ahead of time. Like not just the night before via email, but like, or like come in class like on Wednesday, because I wouldn't post them until I got them from you. So like actively tell me, don't you post that key yet, I haven't turned it in and I'm going to, I swear. Because if I post the key, then you can't turn it in late, but if I don't post the key, then you can turn it in late, you just have to deal with the wrath of your classmates for how long you take, right? No, I'm not gonna have you, but yeah, okay. That sound good? I feel like that sounds good. Okay, cool. Let's talk about carboxylic acid's cousins, functional derivatives of carboxylic acids. So, we're going to talk about acid chlorides. We already talked about how you can make those. Acid anhydrides. So those are, God, I hate when they draw them like this. That's an acid anhydride, and it's anhydride because I need to do coding. If you make one out of 2 acids, you get water left over. So you're taking water out of 2 carboxylic acids, acid anhydride. Let's see, an ester just has an oxygen and then a group right next to one side of the carbonyl. An amide, not amine. Let's see, how did I say it? Oh no, that was amine and amine. Okay, so an amide is like an amine, but it's right next to a carbonyl. Yes?
I was wondering if you posted these somewhere different. This is chapter 18 slides, right?
Did I not post these?
I don't know, I could just be.
No, it's entirely possible I didn't post them because I was grading last night and you know, I haven't, because your exam was on a, oh good. Actually, it's like more than possible that I didn't post that.
Sorry,
No, thank you, it's more useful for you guys to have, like to pause class and give you that first, yeah. Let me, I have those. just added them to your pre-lecture slides. Hopefully that updates real soon, and you have those. Yeah, this is connected to the internet, so that should update. Thank you. That is an example of when you should interrupt me in class, because that is useful for you guys to have that, to follow along. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay, so we were on amide. That's an amine, but next to a carbonyl, and then a nitrile, which we're gonna call a carbonyl, or a carboxyl derivative, but it's a C triple bonded to an N, so it's sort of, yeah, they've got the enol of an amide, like how you make it, they're kind of showing how it's a derivative of this. If you have an amide, but you have the enol of an amide, then you can take out water, dehydrate it, and get a nitrile. And I guess for most of these, you can make them by eliminating water. That really makes the acid anhydride like thing less useful if they're all made by eliminating water, but okay, yeah, technically they all are. Okay. So, functional group. Basically an acyl group bonded to a halogen is going to be your acid halide. So an acyl group is RCO something. I'm not entirely sure why that's different from, like why there's a different name for this versus just a carbonyl, but I guess a carbonyl is just talking about the CO, and an acyl group is telling you on one side of that carbonyl, you have some carbony things, and on the other side, that's what the rest of the name is probably gonna be. So to name these guys, you change ic acid to il halide, benzoyl chloride, ethanoyl chloride. Why? Oh, okay, it is oic acid. All right. Yeah, so you get oil chloride. It's weird, but whatever. And you're not gonna. Well, okay, acid halide. So you could have acid bromides or whatever, but usually we play with acid chlorides, mostly because like things get more expensive as you go from chloride to bromide to iodide. Also, in a lot of things, reactivity like goes up from chloride to bromide to iodide. So there are certain things in palladium catalyzed carbon-carbon coupling that don't work with chloride, but they work with bromide or iodide. There are some that work with bromide if you heat it up enough, and then there are some that like the same thing will work with an iodide compound, just room temperature. But like, if we can get great reactivity from a chloride, why not, right? Let's see. Okay, replacement of OH with sulfonic acid. So this guy's a sulfonic acid. Sure, I don't super. This, we drew this when we were doing the mechanism that you didn't have to know for turning into, making acid chlorides. And that S, I'm almost like 86% sure that that S has a lone pair on there, and we're breaking octet. Well, we're already breaking octet with just the bonds, actually. So, yeah, already breaking octet, but I'm pretty sure that there's a lone pair on that sulfur. Okay, so these guys, toluene sulfonic acid, these guys are sulfonic acid. Once you get to the Cl on there, a sulfonyl chloride, you get toluene sulfonyl chloride, but like tosyl chloride, they call it. And that, methane sulfonyl chloride. So tosyl chloride is like, it's a whole group, and I wanna say it's a really good leaving group. I wanna say it's when you get rid of, the tosyl leaving group is if you get rid of this chloride and just bind right there on that S to something, with all of this just the way it is, then it's a very, very good leaving group. So if you ever see that, it's just leaving group, but like aggressive leaving group. Very good leaving group. Doesn't take much to get that off of there. So that's this guy, honestly. I don't know, those are fine. Wait, where were we? Did I skip acid? How did we get to, oh, it was here. Bless you. Better? There we go. Caffeine kicking. Okay. So carboxylic anhydrides, acid anhydrides. I've never heard the term carboxylic anhydride. They look like this, and if you take two carboxylic acids, take out the water, you get one of these guys. They're very reactive, so like if any amount of water or like humidity gets around these guys, you no longer have what you had. You don't have an acid anhydride, you just have carboxylic acids in there. So, like adding water to that, you don't need acid or base catalysis. As far as I mean, if you add water, you've already got some amount of acid or base. But usually when we need acid or base catalysis, we actually need like an amount of acid or base added, not just like whatever hydroxide and hydronium is floating around in there. This doesn't need anything. You put water anywhere adjacent to this and it's done being this. A lot of them are symmetrical, but they can be mixed. They can have two different things on the sides. And you replace acid with anhydride. So benzoic anhydride instead of benzoic acid. Okay. Cyclic anhydrides, these guys, when you hydrate this, instead of having two different carboxylic acids, you're gonna have one dicarboxylic acid, right? So these guys, practice seeing these guys as like how they would look when they open up, and also vice versa. So let's see, succinic anhydride. 3, 4. That's what that looks like when you hydrate it. Yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think so. Maleic anhydride, if you open that one up, we've got a double bond. What orientation, what configuration do you think that double bond is in if we open up that ring? What configuration does it look like it's in now? It looks like cis, right? And this is a 5-membered ring. So if you have a molecular modeling kit or you've played with one before, you kind of know like a 5-membered ring is sort of, it like almost is planar, but like it's just sort of 4 of them are planar and then one of them goes, and you have a little triangle that sticks up I don't know, like a little envelope or something. So that's not a big enough ring to really like still be a ring somehow if there's a trans bond in there, right? Like it has to be what it looks like. It has to be a cis bond, which means when we open that up, we're not actually messing with that. Yeah, we're not actually messing with that double bond. So we would end up with